Decoding emotions. Fear, happiness, anger, sadness, pain, misery, depression, anxiety, dilemma, confusion, and a plethora of many more. Call it emotions, call it feelings, a state of mind. The fact is, it constitutes the fabric of our lives. Emotions have been a part of human existence and in many ways defines who we are. We are always seeking an emotional connect, be in the movies we watch or the friends that we make. The funny thing about emotions though is, it can never be predetermined. We cannot be sure when we are going to be happy or when we are going to be sad. And it just keeps changing from time to time. It's like this invisible character that enters and exits our body at will. At any given point in time, we are a culmination of various emotions, either positive, negative, or neutral. Now friends, emotions per se is our way of expressing or communicating to the world. It has a signal, it has a message. But fortunately, unfortunately, we are not always able to interpret it. Now when a little baby cries, the interpretations are far more simple. It's either that it's unwell, it's hungry, or it's seeking attention. Children also have a plethora of emotions, but more so driven by their innocence, we are easily able to interpret what they have to say. But as man grows, he changes physiologically, and the way of thinking also changes. And there comes one time where we are a clutter of emotions, confused, and sometimes even lost. While emotions are our outlet to the world, it's important to showcase it. Being overwhelmed by emotions can undo us. And that is where the concept of self-awareness comes into play. We cannot be sure of the emotions that we encounter, but we can be more sure of how we are structured. And I believe self-awareness is the first step towards emotional intelligence. It is when we are self-aware and we understand how we are structured that we learn to respond and not react to situations. Human emotions are like fingerprints. They're unique, they're distinct, they're different. No two people can have the same emotion. And so at any given situation, you can't expect two people to react to it in a similar fashion. And I therefore believe trying to draw theories, interpretations, and build theories on human behavior are more subjective, abstract than being practical. So for the first time on a Take on Life, I'm trying to use situational stories, simple situational stories in life to probably analyze what goes on in our mind and leave it open for people to interpret how probably they would react to it. So to begin the session, we would have a few questions to warm up the session and then get directly into stories depending on the time. So the floor is open for discussion. The first question that I have is, how important is it for us to express our emotions? How many of you all think that it's important that you need to express your emotions?
You are happy, you feel like expressing it, and you will find more people to share your happiness. But you as a person, it really doesn't matter how they share your happiness. When you are sad, you expect a particular kind of reaction, a particular kind of sympathy, a particular set of words which will make you feel better. That you might not find.
There's some set of people who really are fine showcasing what they think. They get tagged as being either loud or brash or emotionally not stable. I have a doctor who just added on to it. But how many of you think it's perfectly fine to showcase your emotions in public?
I think people make the society, society makes people. So if they are more open-minded, if everybody expresses themselves, then the open society. Otherwise, it will be a closed, reserved society. Yeah.
No, but then again, there are very primitive emotions like rage, like lust. You just can't go and openly express them in public. Maybe you're okay.
Society defines that as well, and that's precisely the reason I'm driving this initiative, because I'm looking forward to developing a more open and a free society.
Still, we find people in different scenarios, particularly in a hospital. We find, maybe at even with a deathbed also.
Right.
Some people are still sort of fixed that they will not express their emotion, neither with their relatives also. For example, there are some people when somebody dies, there's a whole group of people shouting, crying. You will find this okay.
Sure.
But there are some group of people where there's kin has died, but they silently take the body. They are not expressing their grief. So we don't know which is the right way to express.
Doctor, I have a question to you. What is the state of people who realize that they have a few days left in their lives? What kind of a state are they?
Yeah.
Are they open to express their
Yes.
emotions at that point in time, or other?
No. I have seen variety of people ranging from very educated people to illiterate people. The illiterate people really, I was really amazed that they don't even have the thing to accept that they're going to die and they're the end of the life and I have to change. Nothing matters for them. They're still in their own small built world in their mind mentality, still fighting, cribbing, those things goes on, still fighting. Not suddenly we don't see like in a movie, suddenly at the deathbed, suddenly they become enlightened and start telling all that truth. It doesn't happen. Really doesn't happen.
Okay.
And educated people, yes, to some extent they do have they acknowledge that yes, there's something bad going to happen and I need to be little bit more relaxed and should show whatever I have, the anger I should show it off, or whether I have some hidden secrets I should express it. They do have, but as I told you, there is a range of people, spectrum. It is.
So is this?
Very few people are there. They're conscious, oriented, and then going to die.
Wonderful. Thank you, doctor.
Say about this. So, reflecting even from my life, I think what is very important to understand is the cultural influence.
Sure.
We have been raised in this country, and we don't have a culture of sharing emotions. Our parents, our mothers, our grandmothers have always said, "Amiki vachiko."
Right.
Keep it suppressed.
Right.
Because women, I'm also talking as a woman
Absolutely.
and as an Indian woman.
Absolutely.
So that's not there culturally. So now when you talk about speaking, labeling, it is a very difficult thing that we are probably as this generation and perhaps the previous generation is learning to do only now.
I think
When you see the life of a student, for example, I am saying in that perspective, when you see the teenage, the adolescent age, and where they don't identify what they are and where they are going, what they want to do, and if they don't understand that they are doing many wrong ways.
okay.
I have been there, and I have met people like counselors, a lot of counselors who guide us and who listen to us, especially. So it was I was into drugs and stuff, and in my 11th standard, one of my mentors he died.
Okay.
So I was into drugs and I failed in all my subjects,
Sure.
all my subjects. I was not here, I was in Middle East at that point of time. So I needed a lot of guidance at that point of time, thanks to my father. And I opened up. That's when the thing is important of opening up to others, to
Sure.
knowing to share what you feel and to share how you're feeling at this point of time, so that you cannot decode your own life. You cannot decode your own emotions at that point of time. You need someone elder who has already gone through that path. So I was.
So how did you overcome this?
Yeah, I spoke to a lot of counselors at that point of time, and I was into isolation for almost an year, and then I got back by reading a lot of literature. Literature helped me a lot, and people who were inspiring me and motivating me. And later on, I got gold medals in 4 subjects in the same
Wonderful.
next
Thank
year.
you so much for sharing. The first story is called the Growing Pains. You can relate it to any space in life. I'm using teenage as my current setup. Okay, so there are 2 friends. Let's call them Raja and Rani. Both have come up together. They're childhood friends. They've spent most of their times together. They've shared their lunch boxes, gone to school together, been in each other's house. Essentially, spent most of their days, growing years together. And life continues to be good. Their friendship grows until they enter their teens and they enter college. Now, it so happens that once they enter college, the dynamics of the friendship slowly starts to evolve. There are new friend circles that evolve, and both with Raja and with Rani. And slowly and steadily, Rani starts to have this little inkling. It's a feeling that probably Raja is getting close to Rani's best friend. So let's give her a name. Say Menaka. Now she knows that at the end of the day they're good friends. They all the 3 of them hang out together. There's largely not much of an issue. But every time she finds Menaka interacting with Raja, she feels distant. She strongly believes that it's a childhood friendship, and They've known each other for long. She tries to convince herself of the same. And she strongly and vehemently believes that they are just friends. I repeat, just friends. But then every time she finds them interacting with each other, she's disturbed. Now, the question is, what are the emotions that Rani is going through? What is her state of mind? What are her emotions? And what could be the reasons?
Insecurity.
Insecurity, okay?
Possessiveness.
Possessiveness, okay?
Attachment.
Attachment. Why attachment?
You get used to the person you have.
So is it a shift in equilibrium?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay?
Pure love.
Once she realized that it's not happening, it's being shared,
Yeah.
so she's not able to control him fully, and
Yeah. She
it's
finds
being
somebody
shared.
else has replaced her.
Yes, sort of.
Okay. Sense of attachment, disturbance in equilibrium, betrayal, competitiveness, and probably love. So, based on these points, what is the inference? What can we probably infer is her state? One is whether it's really friendship or is it more than friendship? It's a point where she gets into a dilemma where she's not sure whether it's only friends, as much as she tries to say it's only friends. What else could be the inference?
She's questioning herself as well, and that's where I spoke of insecurity.
Okay.
Not just the relationship or the bonding she has with him.
Okay.
She's questioning herself, authenticating herself, like, am I good enough or not? And that's where she's getting
Is she
insecure.
feeling inferior?
Inferior.
She's not able to understand Raja.
Not able to understand Raja. She's
I
not
think she has just been used to his friendship so much
Yeah.
Yeah.
that at time it happens that once we're like used to a person, like a family, a parent also, you
Okay.
don't want to share your parent also with somebody else. And
Maybe Raja gave her some hints that she built a castle in her head and she thinks he likes her.
Raja being in love or otherwise is not totally black and white.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's like a spectrum which, when it crosses a certain level, and it kind of gets interrupting and all, then I think then
Now, let me give you the third part of this. What could be her possible reactions to this scenario? So here we have that, because she's seeing this, there is, she's insecure, she's jealous, there is a sense of denial, she feels inferior, there's a questioning of self-worth, she's questioning her lines of friendship, and probably she still feels it's platonic, but she feels that Raja is not giving her as much attention, which is valid. Now, how does she tackle it? What could be the possible reactions to this scenario? Yeah?
For sure, a woman will give the silent treatment.
For sure, a woman will give silent treatment, okay?
Then she may just let go of the situation.
So she'll probably just back off them.
Yeah, and allow him, give him his space and allow him to come forward with the reason.
So I think rather than assuming anything in life, it's always good to confront. And
Same thing can happen at work. Two people, you have a colleague for the last 5 years, you've grown comfortable with each other, spending 8 hours a day at work, and one fine day you find a new colleague walk in and you're disturbed. Now the point?
This 10 years has been just friendship. Now the problem has arisen because there is a change of emotion.
Sure.
The emotion is changing.
Sure.
That's why, so once he confront, he will definitely, because he has evolved as a person. Until then, he would have just seen her as a friend.
Right.
Now he will see her as a girl or a woman.
Sure.
There will be a change.
would be time. Time will tell everything.
Okay.
She should have patience. Everything will change and fall in order, and she should have a lot of patience. And I think carry on.
I think she should step back.
She should step back.
She should step back just
The problem is, especially it happens in arranged marriages.
Okay.
Mother will go around, no, actually it happened in my case. Mother will go around looking for the best girl.
Okay.
She'll find the best girl for her son.
Okay.
And when the son is happy with the best girl, she will not be happy.
One simple thought of a new person coming into the picture can lead to as many emotions, from betrayal, jealousy, possessiveness, replacement. Some are justified. Some are justified when you find your friend is not giving you as much attention that he was giving, and some are purely fictional. And your inferences to this could be that you need to understand yourself better, you're questioning yourself worth, you're justifying it, or you're confronting it.
I feel, as you're talking, for me, what stands out is that the first part, so much of emotional turmoil comes from a basic lack of self-worth, which
Sure.
has come up in your
Has come up, yeah.
this thing also. So once that is addressed, then
The rest
this
is
kind
addressed.
of
It's called existential crisis. Let us say a really well-to-do person. Let's give him a flamboyant name. Say Vikram Singhania. These big names that you see in movies who have done well for themselves. He's passed out from his IIT, IIM, and then he's got placed in a multinational company as an investment banker. And he's been working for the last 8 years. Right? He's skipped jobs, jumped jobs. Finally come to a point where he's found his sweet spot. He's got a good boss, great colleagues, a nice life partner, and he's backpacking and traveling across the globe. And one fine day, he is promoted as the head of investment banking in his organization. And that's been a dream that he's been living for or wanting to get there for years together. Now, what would be his probable state of mind, his emotions, feelings, and what are the reasons? Contentment.
A validation of his self-discipline that has given him that achievement.
Confident.
Joy, happiness, confidence.
Sometimes though this is what you wanted to,
Yeah.
this is what you're getting. Suddenly you get the feeling of, am I really worth it? What do I do to deserve this?
Right. How many of you?
I'm the best feeling.
You're the best.
What next?
What next? What next?
Or a complete breakdown also.
Complete breakdown of
Yeah, because it would have gone so hard sometimes to reach the sense of fulfillment,
sense of fulfillment.
It's like,
Emotions here are contentment, self-worth, validation, you are the best, what next, confidence, happiness, fulfillment. Loneliness, okay?
Loneliness, because when you're at top, you're lonely. So the view is awesome when you're on top, but when you're on top, you are alone.
So fear of falling down.
Because a new challenge will come up instantly. Because once you achieve something, you keep longing for something else again and
and this is
again.
where I
How many of you all feel happiness is overrated? Yeah. And can you say why?
It's overrated in the sense it's prioritized a lot. Like everyone, most of us kind of take it as an endpoint and try to march towards it.
Often try to find it outside in various incidents or events or material things, and that is something that it has a shelf life.
It has a shelf life. Happiness has a shelf life. But actually the journey to success is a lot of pain, toil and struggle. And when we get there, probably the sense of elation and joy is actually not as long as we believe will last. It's still our next challenge. We take on our next challenge. Now moving on to scenario 2. The same person, Vijay Singhania also, 8 months down the lane, he wakes up one morning, he sits up and asks himself, what am I doing? He suddenly feels that life has just become a little too monotonous. He starts questioning whether this was the purpose of his life. To wake up, go to an office, be an investment banker, backpack day after day, keep talking numbers, working on Excel sheets, and making money which probably is loaded on your cards, having a lifestyle. But then one fine day he wakes up and asks himself, is this what I want to do? Is this the purpose of my life? Is this the purpose of my life? What are the emotions, what is the state of mind or feelings that he's undergoing now? And what would be the
Directionless.
directionless, okay?
He's going to contemplate on what are all the things that he has possibly lost.
Okay?
I ran a very large business for a very large multinational. At one fine morning, I decided to do something else. But it was not based on any regret or anything like that.
Okay.
I was very happy. I was happy about what I did. I never regretted. I never thought it was waste of time. I missed out something else. And so it was just a question of moving on to do something
So
else.
when did you, was it a decision that you made one fine morning or was it a build up over the years?
Whether it is built up over the years, I don't know. But I took a decision one fine morning, exactly like you said, woke up. Actually, I was on a conference call, and I got another call on my mobile phone,
Right.
which was on silent. But I saw, so I put this on mute.
Okay.
Took this call, and before I went back, I was just observing it, and then I said, "Look, this is not what I want to do anymore."
Wonderful. Thank you.
So there's a certain journey we have taken. I mean, I really wish we appreciate the journey.
And these changes in my career has made me what I am today. And I would whenever I look back or think about it, I just bow down with respect and thank myself that I did that.
Closing on this section, so what probably would he do now? Has Vikram said back to Spain?
Connect the dots. I mean, connecting
Yeah,
the dots.
Steve Jobs rightly said,
Connect the dots and move ahead.
you can only connect the dots looking backwards. You can't connect it looking forwards. Connect the dots.
So I would prioritize what's important.
Okay. What else?
It's spiritual.
Spirituality. Okay.
You might share his story on a platform like a Take On Me.
Share a story and thank you so much. That makes my day.
I would like to plan what I want to do next.
Okay.
And start doing it. Like I have done personally, I was working in IIT Bombay in education development.
Sure.
Then one fine morning I decided I don't want to do it. When I was offered a promotion, so I told I don't want to do it, I would rather clown in hospitals. So that's how I stopped doing it and I started clowning. And
Wow.
I've came so far in clowning journey right now.
Should have a good round of applause on the day when, to close on this story, it's a story of of individuals. Each one of us can relate to it, where we, where even in a state of joy, we sometimes question our self-worth. We start to question whether we really deserve it. There are times when we start asking what's next. Then came an aspect wherein when you hit the redundancy space, you seek solace. You look forward to the, you try to reorient yourself, try to do things like meditation, backpacking, connecting the dots, looking at what you want to do. We had some wonderful stories here. The idea was that to set a platform for people to share and have your take. I would suggest that anybody who's gone through this space to relook at where they stand and realize that there is nothing wrong with what you did and there's nothing wrong with what you're going to do. And probably it all calls for a change in your experience. There have been a whole lot of theories and interpretations and scientific ways of looking at human behavior. I personally believe emotions are raw and real, and therefore none of these theories can really be put into play. We all are structured uniquely. There are one set of people who are rational, who can see things objectively, who probably are not too emotional. And then many of us are emotional beings. We wear our emotions on our sleeve. We look for an emotional connect. The friends we make in the work where we're working, be it in our relationships, in finding a partner. And it's perfectly fine to be so. It is that aspect, what we need to understand about how we are oriented, that probably leads us to a state of happiness or self-satisfaction. However, having said that, we can't always be happy. There will be times when we hit an emotional patch or we feel we hit an emotional turmoil. I would like to leave you behind with 3 simple steps or my way of looking at how you could handle a difficult situation. Step 1 is to accept it. The biggest issue we face is that we fail to accept that we are in an emotional turmoil. We are always in a mode of resentment trying to say that we are in. The minute we accept that we have a problem, we probably start to look for solutions. Step 2, unearth the real reason. We probably are angry at somebody and we feel sad about it. Maybe the real reason what irked us was some incident that happened 3 months back and it's showcasing itself now. It calls for us to actually understand what is the real reason that is making us unhappy or what is the real reason we are in the emotional turmoil. Once we understand the base root emotion as to what it is and accept it, I think we'll always figure a way forward. And step 3 is to respond, not to react. As difficult as it may be, even if you can do that by 5%, I know it's difficult. Even if you can do it by 5%, that when you hit a patch, you don't react immediately. You step back, realign, think, and try to apply what you think is best. I think we will grow as beings. We are growing more emotionally intelligent. I'd like to leave you behind with a quote that I had written some time back. I write quotes. It's my personal favorite. It says, emotions are like the joker in a pack of cards. Emotions are like the joker in a pack of cards. In a game of cards, in many games, the joker is used as a trump. Was used as wild card. It fits in at different places, in different combinations. We always hope to have the joker within us. with us while playing a game. And in some card games, the joker is entirely omitted. You just take it and place it aside or use it as a replacement for a misplaced card. Human emotions are like the joker. There are places, times and people where it is, has great amount of significance, and there are places where it's absolutely insignificant. The key to success in life, personal life, is to express our emotion with the right people at the right places. And in doing so, we achieve something called emotional satisfaction, which in other terms we call happiness. Ladies and gentlemen, be happy, stay positive. As you walk out of this room, have your take on decoding emotions and what this session had for you. We're happy to hear from you. And I believe because life is all about how you see it. Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful session.